Good afternoon. Happy to see you again. Okay, so before we start the class, first we do the breathing meditation or yoga or practice. You can name whatever you want. Okay, generally, the mind and the body, in our body, we have a wind. The mind and body has a deep connected each other. When the wind within our body increase too much, then our mind become very disturbed. So in order to control the mind, first we need to control the wind which is running within our body. Therefore, every time before you do the actual meditation, you must do the breathing meditation. When you do the breathing meditation, you only, focus on your breath. When the breath go in, your mind also just follow the breath going in and out. So today we add few more steps. Some step is very important to have a healthy heart and lungs, clear heart and lungs. Also, many people has a digestion problem, also kidney problems, abdomen, right? Abdomen is a problem. So today we do some, study about how to do all kinds of exercise for hearts and lungs and the kidneys and the abdomen, your lower part of your stomach. First, everybody, close your right nostril, breathe in and out 3 times from the left nostril. Okay, close your right like this. Look at me. Should not push too much. Just close slightly and breathe in, out 3 times. So when you breathe in and out, must be very softly, generally. Should not breathe in forcefully, very strongly, very soft, very general. Next, you press your left nostril 3 times from the right nostril, in and out. This is the first steps. Second step, you breathe in from your left nostril, out from the right, and breathe from the right breathe out from the left is like a 3 times. Okay? That means that time you can just use one finger. Just close your right nostril, breathe in. Then close the left side, breathe out. Then breathe in from the right, release from the left. And breathe in from the left and release from the right. Same way, one more. This is the second steps. The third one, breathe in from the both nostril and breathe out from the both 3 times. This one you breathe very long in and the long out. You should not keep any kind of breath in your lungs. Release everything. So there are totally 9, the breath in and out. The next very important one, because people has breath problem, heart problem, the problem in lungs. This one you breathe in from the both nostril, fully feel oxygen in your lung. Clear? For example, fully breathe in, your lungs totally filled with the oxygen and breath, and just push up, your chest push up. Then you hold the breath as much as you can. Look at me, for example. So you be relaxed, breathe in. Just first look at me. Then you breathe out very slowly. Then your chest become very flat, and push in as much as you can. Then stop there as much as you can. Breathe in, push up, hold your breath as much as you can. When you release very slowly and push in as much as you can. That means your lungs and heart got really good exercise, expand, release all the air, become very flat. Okay, try. Then breathe out slowly. Stop. And relax. Okay? Once more, I can see, can you do or not? Breathe in. Push up your chest like this and stop. And release your oxygen very slowly, slowly. Stop there. Hold as much as you can, okay? This is about your heart and lungs. The next, the lower parts of your stomach and kidney. This one, again you breathe in very slowly for a long one. Then you push your stomach out. Look at me. Right? First, push out. Look like your stomach become look like a football. And hold there as much as you can. When you release everything. Your stomach become look like very flat. Okay, try. Hold. Release slowly until your stomach becomes very flat. Okay, this exercise is very useful if you have a lungs and heart problem. If your lung is quite weak, if your heart has like a pumping problem, is one of the useful exercise. Also the digestion or the kidneys problem, and also when you push up your breath, your chest becomes very full of the oxygen. At the same time, I think your brain got enough oxygen and the blood circle very well. So every morning you can do this kind of practice, maybe 10 to 20 minutes is really good for you. Okay, actual class. So before we start the new topic, so I do the short revision what we learned on last Sunday, right? Last Sunday, first we talk about the life, the previous life and next life. I think in the ancient time, many years ago, there were only, I think, somebody raised 3 questions. Question number 1, who we are. Who we are. Are we body? Are we mind? Who you are or who we are. Question number 1. Right? Then question number 2, where we come from. We come from where? Question number 2. Question number 3. After we died, after we pass away, where we will go? There were 3 questions. What's the question number 1? Who we are, who you are, who we are. Question number 2, where we come from. Question number 3, where we go after we died, after we pass away. Therefore, there are, different answers from different people. Then the question number 1, who we are, who you are. Then many people, many masters, many philosophers, they say, me, I am a Atma. They believe in Atma. Atma. Atma means we have a, Atma or soul is a similar meaning. Atma and soul. So, this is our physical body. They believe inside our body there is a thing we can name soul and Atma. The Atma is permanent, singleness. Permanent, singleness, and independent. This is soul or, Atma. Then, where we come from, therefore, there are many different answers. But mostly, we are not come from anywhere. We are created by, God, Allah, or Bhagavan. So they believe in the Creator. We were created by someone. We are not come from anywhere. We created by, the Creator. Then after we pass away, where we will go? There's a way we can go, or after we pass away, we totally going to disappear. Then there's a many answer. Most of the religion, after we pass away, you got only 2 options. You go into hell, or you go into the heaven. Heaven with the God, heaven with the Bhagavan, heaven with the Allah, or we go in hell. As a Buddhist, who you are, so we are, the combination of the 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates. Based on 5 aggregates, so we named as a human being, we named as an animal, based on the 5 aggregates, then we named. For example, when we were born without name, right? We didn't have a name. We were just small baby. Then somebody named, like a Lim, Liu, whatever. Name based on the, the small baby. So therefore, as a Buddhist, we don't accept soul and Atma. And soul and Atma and consciousness are totally different. The meaning is different, the entity-wise also different. The second answer, where we come from, the most religion, the answer we are created by, the Creator. You can name different names. As a Buddhist, no, we cannot accept Creator. So we were come from our previous life. So right now we are human being. Were we human being in the past life, just previous life? We don't know. Therefore, in order to believe in previous life, first we need to know we have a physical body, we have a mind. The physical body, the physical body come from our parents. But the minds which is we have, it does not come from our parents, it's come from our previous life. So therefore, we really need to know the mind and the physical thing is totally separate. The physical things can change in different aspects. For example, right now, this is what is this? This is a table. So, 20 years ago, this table was piece of, wood. 100 years ago, the piece of wood was small, sprout, then seeds. The physical thing can change in different aspect. Big to small to being tree, then changing. It can transform in different aspect. The mind also can change positive into negative into positive, the neutral. But the physical thing cannot transform into mind. The mind cannot transform as a physical thing. There's total two separate. Therefore, our physical body come from our parents. Our minds, we come from our previous life. Right? Then after we pass away, where we will go? Yeah, we can go into heaven or we can go into health. But after if we said next life, if we born in the hell being, then we will stay there maybe, 100, 200, 1,000 years, then we born into another life. We never stay permanently in the hell being. We never stay permanently in the heaven. The other tradition, most of you, when you are young, I think you went to Christian school. You have a good knowledge about the Christianity. According to Christianity, once you go into hell, you're in the hell forever. When you are in the heaven, you are in the heaven forever. Right? So this is the Buddhist as a different concept about previous life, next life, and the different concept who you are. Then last Sunday, then we talk about, the process, the steps or process of drying. So when we're drying, we go through the, different dissolution. The first, earth dissolve into water dissolve into earth, so fire, the fire dissolve into earth. So air. Earth, first earth, then water, then fire, then air. There's a 4 dissolution we have to go through. After the air dissolve, then there are 4 kinds of appearances. First, when we are on the process of the death, so if somebody touch your body totally, decay. You cannot see the person can move and talk, breath is totally stopped. Still, the person can be alive. That time, the first time you have a very, the white appearances you can perceive, you can see, everything look like very milky color. Then slowly, it can change into the red color. You have the red color appearance around you. Everything look like the red, like when you look at in the morning in the sky, everything look like very red, or look like it's look like the fire color. Then slowly the red color is going to disappear. Then you can see the black, color all around you totally, the blackness, darkness. Then after it, so your mind becomes so subtle. You reach to very subtle level, then you cannot remember anything. You cannot remember anything. Then you reach to the clear light mind state. Clear light mind state. Therefore, someone can remain within the clear light mind state for few days, few weeks, or somebody can stay there maybe 10, 20 minutes. So that's why how we can have all the process when we are dying. After we completely death, then we reach to the intermediate state, right? Then we can remind there's no exact, the day, how long we will be there. Someone stay there for maybe first just 1 minute, 2 minutes, then the person can take a rebirth. Or the maximum we believe, the person can stay in the intermediate state for 49 days. Then we take a rebirth. Then I explain how we, rebirth again, take a rebirth again, we born again. We born due to the ignorance, karma, then afflictive emotions. First, we already have ignorance. Due to the ignorance, we have a karma. We have a positive karma, we have a negative karma. It depends on which karma activates. So, if we activate the positive karma with the compassion, kindness, tolerance, then we will born in the higher realms. If we activate the negative karma due to ignorance as well as anger, attachment, negative desire, then we born into lower realms. Then also we talk about we have positive karmas, negative karmas. So which one first activate? So moment of the death, or during the intermediate state. If we have both positive karma, it depends on which one is more powerful, right? Powerful, more stronger. Which one is powerful is activate first. If negative and positive karma both same kind of powerful, then which one come first? Which one activate first? Sorry? Yeah, habits. If you have more habits with the negative action, then the negative karma come first. If you have a more positive habits, then positive karma come first. If both you have a same habits, then which one come first? Which one accumulate fast, right? Then also at that time we learn, can we accumulate positive and negative karma both at the same time? Yes, yeah, we can. You do your own dharma practice, and you ask somebody, done something, some bad thing, then you are accumulating both karma. Okay, both karma. So this is how the karma activates. Then today we learn a little bit about how can we purify negative karma or not? Can we purify? Can we eliminate the negative karma or not? Can or cannot? Yeah, can or cannot. It's up to you. You can answer different ways. As a Buddhist, the negative karma, and in English there's a term, sin, right? Is totally different meaning. So according to Christianity, they believe we were born with the sin. So you cannot really, eliminate sin. Also, we don't believe into sin, also we believe into karma. So first, we believe into positive karma, we can increase. Also, we believe in negative karma, also we can increase the negative karma, as well as we can purify the negative karma. So let's say how we can purify negative karma, how we can minimize the negative karma, how we can reduce the negative karmas. Of course, again, you need to practice, certain practices. Let's say you realize, this morning, I have accumulated negative karma. When you realize you accumulated negative karma, you remember the negative karma, the negative action. Then, if you could, you can visualize. You just visualize a Buddha. Visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, because also most of you Buddhists, you believe in the Buddha Shakyamuni. You visualize Buddha Shakyamuni. Remember the Buddha. We call visualization. Then you must have a strong regret about the negative karma. Then you can recite, the Buddha Shakyamuni's mantra. Do you know which one? Mantra of the Buddha Shakyamuni? Yeah. Teyatha Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Soha. Teyatha Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Soha. Right? That means visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, recite the mantra with the sense of strong regret about negative karma. At the same time, when you recite the mantra, so you need to visualize the Buddha Shakyamuni and descend a lot of nectar and blessing from the Buddha Shakyamuni dissolve into you. And you imagine your negative karmas, purified. So this is how you can purify your negative karma. Also through prostration. So with a sense of regret, you can do the prostration, verbally, physically, mentally. The doing prostration is different, tradition has a different ways. Most of you have a very strong, like a Chinese Buddhist influence, so you can do your own way prostration. If you want to follow, like what Tibetan, so we do like, when you do the prostration mudra, look at, you should not do the flat one, according to Tibetan tradition. But according to Thai, Sri Lanka, I think Chinese, I don't know, is to do flats. It's okay. We Tibetan, we always do like empty, like this way. Look at 2 fingers, 2 thumbs, you put in. And the shape look like this way. Clear? Like this, and put together. This is a very Tibetan tradition. Because one of the sutra mentioned, should not do the flat one. So therefore, when you see some, teacher, Rinpoche, when they respect you, they always does like this, flat. Never do like. So when you do the prostration, then do this way, right? Because this is empty, right? Empty is symbolizing of the emptiness or shunyata. Then 2 finger, thumbs put into the empty. That means wisdom and methods. Methods and wisdom. Then you do, like 1 time here on the center of your head chakra, the 4th head, and the throat, and the heart. Right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you bow down with the, like your knees and hands and your forehead touch on the ground. Right? So you must do 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the evening, within the recitation and chanting, within the visualization. So this is how you can purify your negative karma. The most important, you must have a strong regret about the negative karma. So do you remember the story? The regret can reduce the negative karma very easy way. Remember the story? Which one? Butcher. And ego is very bad, right? Remember the story? Which story? The monk, right? Therefore, all your practice, whatever practice you want to do very secretly. No need to do in publicly, openly. So when you on the bus, when you on the MRT, you no need to show your mala. Okay, I'm doing mantra. You not just do in your minds. Because when you show your mala, do recitation, people get angry. People feel very uncomfortable. Also, it causes to accumulate negative karma. Right? Do secretly, privately, because all our religion, all our practice are, our private things. No need to show in public. Second, it is not just enough to purify negative karma. Why we need to purify, why we need to eliminate, reduce negative karma? Because in our life, so many problems we face because of the negative karma. You can see you wish to achieve something, you really put a lot of effort. You really think I'm going to achieve. At the end, you fail to achieve because of the negative karma. Also, you really want to be a very healthy person. Healthy, you really wish, I want to be very healthy. You always eat healthy food. You do a lot of exercise. Somehow you always feel sick. Then you see doctor. The doctor say, "Oh, you are completely okay. You don't have any problem. But you know you are sick. You are not healthy because of the negative karma." Therefore, we need to minimize. If you could, we must eliminate, purify all the negative karmas. Then we will have a, always happy life. We won't have any problems because of the negative karma has gone. But at the same time, also we need to accumulate, we need to collect a lot of positive karma. For example, when you clean your house, it's very clean, look very nice. If your house is totally empty, it's not nice. You must put, nice decoration. Then the room is very clean, also look very nice, very beautiful, because you put beautiful object in house. Therefore, at the same time, you need to accumulate the positive karma. Again, visualize all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, do recitation, chanting, prostration. The most important, the best way to accumulate positive karma, you must do, lot of the meditation. Meditation on impermanence, meditation on compassion, meditation on kindness. So this practice is accumulate merit. At the same time, reduce all the negative thoughts. Right? For example, you are very healthy. Or you have everything. You have a house, you have more than enough food and clothes. Somehow you feel you are not happy. You are not happy because of the negative thoughts. Right? Negative thoughts. For example, you are enjoying, nice breakfast with your friend. Suddenly somebody annoying you. Then the beautiful breakfast has gone. You feel very unhappy because of the negative thoughts, the afflictive thoughts. Therefore, when you do meditation, all the negative thoughts are going to reduce. And slowly, we can eliminate all the negative thoughts from the root. Therefore, through the meditation, you can accumulate a lot of merit. At the same time, you can reduce all the negative thoughts. when we say, today I'm not happy, you're not saying I'm very hungry, right? When we say, today I am not happy, what happened? Did you have your breakfast? Yes, I have my breakfast. Did you have your phone? Yes, I have. I have everything, but I'm not happy. Why? Something wrong in your mind. Because when you say I'm not happy, means you have a lot of negative thoughts. Somebody make you angry, the anger, arises so strongly. Or sometimes you have a strong disappointment. That's why you feel you are not happy. So therefore, the Dharma teach you how to control all the negative thoughts, how to minimize, how to eliminate. Dharma is not only for, recitation, chanting, prostration, making offering. No, those are very simple. It's a very basic kind of Dharma. The main Dharma of practice is do a lot of meditation, increase your positive mind, decrease your negative minds. So if you don't believe, through Dharma practice I can be a very happy person. If you don't believe, you can do some experiment. Always try to increase your positive thoughts. Increase positive thoughts. Decrease negative thoughts. Within 1 month, within 1 year, you can feel it. Oh, I'm more happy than the last year. I'm more happy than the last month. Because you increase the positive thoughts, decrease the negative thoughts. If you don't want to be happy, increase your negative thoughts. Increase, as much as you can. Then you feel it, oh, I'm not happy at all. So this is, you can have a conviction through your own experiment. Therefore, Dharma is mainly about increasing, the positive, decreasing the negative thoughts. So how we can increase? So today, I will explain, few basic things. First, we always identify, always recognize, I am one of the very fortunate person because I'm educated, I can read any kinds of books, I can understand, I'm very lucky person. But there's no guarantee you can be, lucky person all lifetime. Right now we are human. Next life, we never know what will happen. So, another problem we have in Buddhist society, Buddhist people, oh, I cannot do practice, but I want to have a lot of, I want to accumulate a lot of positive karmas, which is very good. But due to the positive karma, there's no guarantee you born again as a human. So therefore, you always recognize, identify, I am very lucky because I have the ability to read books, I have the ability to recognize which is good, which is bad. So you have all the condition to study, practice the Dharma. You have the ability to be, to be aware what's going on around you. Therefore, first you recognize I'm one of the lucky person. I'm very fortunate. But, yes, I'm very fortunate, but we never know what will happen tomorrow. Maybe we can die tomorrow or next year, after 2 years. So, we should not think I can practice Dharma tomorrow, day after tomorrow, after I retired. So you must practice Dharma right now, knowing, realizing the impermanence. Therefore, every day you must remember what? Impermanence. Particularly remember the death. The death. The death will come anytime for anybody. So every morning, every day remember impermanence and death. When you remember death, then you remember the positive karma and negative karma. Also you remember, practice the dharma, impermanence. Therefore, when Buddha explained the first time, when he turned the wheel of dharma, he explained, introduced what? What? Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths. Where? India. Where? India? Varanasi. When he teach dharma for the disciple first time, he explained, taught the Four Noble Truths. Among the fourth, what is number one? Truth of suffering. Truth of suffering. Suffering has generally three types. Suffering of change, then pervasive suffering. Please remember, suffering has three categories. Suffering of change, and pervasive suffering. So, even though, non-human being like animal, they also realize suffering of suffering. Then when they feel hungry, they always try to get food. When they feel thirsty, they try to get water. This means they also realize suffering of suffering. But they don't realize suffering of change. We human beings, we realize suffering of change. For example, when you so hungry, that time we are suffered. We have a suffering of hungry, right? When we eat food, we feel happy. This kind of the happiness. This kind of happiness we named suffering of change. It's not ultimate happiness. It is suffering, kind of suffering, but we think this is the happiness. That means suffering of change. The third one, the pervasive sufferings. So therefore, when Buddha introduced the first truth of suffering has four aspects, four characteristics. Number one, impermanence. Number two, suffering. Number three, emptiness. Number four, selflessness. Okay? Impermanence, sufferings, emptiness, selflessness. Therefore, he introduced impermanence. Therefore, every day when you wake up early morning, you remember, oh, I'm so lucky, I'm still alive. We didn't know how many people pass away last night, this morning, this afternoon. Now we are still alive. So remember impermanence and death. Do short meditation on the impermanence. Impermanence has two types. One is the gross impermanence. What called? Gross. For example, we can realize, for example, when you plant, like plantation, it can grow, then endures remains for few months, then what happened? Then the plant slowly change. This one we call gross impermanence. Everybody realize. Nobody need to teach the gross impermanence. But it is not enough to realize gross impermanence. We need to realize the subtle impermanence. Subtle impermanence, right? So everything, including our body, mind, speech, all our belongings, everything changing. How? Momentarily. Every phenomena has just one moment to remain. One moment. Then second moment has gone. That means everything changing momentarily, very fast. Therefore, when you remember, everything changing momentarily, also my life is changing momentarily. When you realize, my life is changing momentarily, My body is changing momentarily. When you feel, I'm old, you don't feel very upset or unhappy. You realize I'm impermanent, I'm changing momentarily. Otherwise, if you think, I want to be youthful forever. So when you see your picture compared with last year, it has changed. Then you feel bit upset. Therefore, every moment you must realize everything impermanence, changing momentarily. It helps you to overcome many problems, many sufferings. When you lose your dear one, right? Your dear friends, your relatives, a sister, brother, when you lose someone, you feel so difficult to bear the problem because at the beginning you don't realize impermanence changing momentarily, right? So if you realize everything changing momentarily, number one, for you very easy to overcome the mental, emotional sufferings. Number two, when you realize everything changing momentarily, then you will have a less attachment. Or if you really realize everything changing momentarily, then you never have any attachment. You have everything, but you should not have clinging your mind with the things because it's changing momentarily. It can be lost anytime. Therefore, every morning, every moment, you must aware, you must realize everything around me is impermanence. So, how things changing momentarily? How and why? I'm asking a question. Why things changing momentarily? Why? Is there someone who control everything? Is there someone who control everything? No. For example, like 20 minutes ago, we had a raining. Why there was a raining? Why? There was a heavy cloud. Therefore, there was raining. Now, no more raining. What happened? There's no enough condition to rain. That means everything changing momentarily due to different causes and condition. Right? Causes and condition. That means when, let's say, somebody is very young, very youthful, because there's a enough condition to be youthful. Now, most of us, quite old, because we have a causes condition to be old. One day we're going to pass away because of the causes and condition. There's no enough causes and condition to, alive continuously. Then finally, it's finished. Tell me, when you remember impermanence, very easy to overcome all the emotional problems, right? But I always tell, my study partner, as a monk, very easy to say, non-attachment. Very easy to say overcoming, emotional problem. Because as a monk, for example, I became a monk when I was 10 years old. Then I stay in my local monastery for 4 years with my teacher. I don't have a really, I really bound with so many things. As a lay person, you has all the experience. You bound with so many things. Not easy to detach, have a detachment. For example, look at, as a lay person, you have a life partner. Somebody has a boyfriend, somebody has a girlfriend. So when the mind attach each other, not easy to overcome. For monks, very easy to say because we don't have experience, right? No experience. Therefore, it is not easy. It's easy to say, but not easy to overcome. So when you remember impermanence at the beginning, when you have a relationship problem with someone, impermanence. Now you must realize. That's first, so easy to overcome emotional problem. Number two, you're going to realize how things are changing due to its own causes and condition, right? Then, so we have all kinds of sufferings. All suffering we can control, except aging and death. This moment, we cannot control our aging. Can we? Cannot. So we were born, then now 10 years, 20 years, 30 years old, next year 40 years old. We cannot change the aging. Also, we cannot change the death. Otherwise, all the emotional problems, mental problems, you can change, you can control. Can or cannot? Can. For example, first you really like to eat something. You always want to eat the thing. Then slowly you notice it is no good. Then slowly you change your mind. At the end, you never eat the same food, which is you really like it. Therefore, when you realize impermanence, you realize things are arising from causes condition. When you realize things are depend on causes condition, when you control, when you change the causes condition, then you can change the result, the effect. Right? For example, if you wish to be happy tomorrow, if you control all your emotional, the negative emotion today, tomorrow you can be very happy. Except, the weather problem, we cannot change. Therefore, when you study Dharma, number one, always you must learn how to control my negative thoughts, how to increase my positive thoughts. Right? Therefore, remember impermanence, particularly remember the subtle impermanence. Everything happens because causes and conditions. So now I will ask a question. You need to answer me. So what is the causes and condition of the sufferings? Suffering we can divide into two suffering, external suffering, inner sufferings. So when we say inner sufferings, like mentally you are not happy. Let's say somebody mentally not happy. The unhappiness come from where? The unhappiness come from where? Within our mind. Therefore, when you say I'm happy, the happiness also part of mind. When you say I'm not happy, the not happy mind, unhappiness also part of your mind, right? Part of mind. That means the unhappiness also come from causes and condition. The happiness also come from causes and condition. If you have more, happiness, causes, condition, you have a more happiness. If you have a more, suffering, causes, condition, then you have a suffering, right? Suffering. Therefore, you must know all sufferings, any kinds of suffering has a causes and condition. All happiness also must have a causes and condition. Therefore, in Buddhism, it is one of the very important concepts, dependent arising. Everything arises dependently. Your happiness also must depend on causes and condition. Your suffering also depend on causes and condition. Then, at the end, all suffering we believe, all suffering which we have is rooted by ignorance. Ignorance. I think he's sleeping. Ignorance, right? Arising from ignorance. Ignorance. There's a ignorance, then there's a attachment. If there's a attachment, there's a anger. For example, let's say, this is very simple mala. It's not expensive at all, right? Somehow, I want to sell this mala, for example. Then I said, in this time, there are only 3 malas all over the world. Only 3 malas. I have one. It's very expensive. It's come from somewhere. Also one of the very rare, very expensive. If I say this is very expensive mala, then slowly you will believe this is very expensive. So you believe this is very expensive because of the ignorance. You really didn't know about the mala. You believe whatever I said. There's a ignorance, right? Ignorance. Then I say this is one of the rare mala, one of the very expensive. It costs few millions dollars. Then you thought, wow, it must be very expensive. If I pass it to you, you feel so happy. I got the expensive mala, right? Then you have the attachment. Am I right? You have attachment. Somebody touch it, you get angry. Don't touch, it's very expensive. If you lose it, you feel very unhappy. That means the attachment arises because of the ignorance. Anger also arises because of the ignorance. Ignorance is the root to arise all the negative thoughts. Attachment, anger, hatred, jealousy, everything arises based on the ignorance. So here what does mean ignorance? Knowing nothing? No. Ignorance means, so I think it's bit difficult to understand for you because you are totally, I think, new about the concept of emptiness, concept of selflessness. How things exist, how all phenomena, the table, chair, how things are exist. For example, what is this? This is a mala. Mala, right? Yes, everybody knows this is mala. So which one is really mala? Which one? The first bead is mala? One bead is mala? No. 2? No. 20? No. Until 20 is never be mala, right? Another 20 is mala? No. Another 20 is mala? No. That means when you separate piece by piece, then finally you cannot find the mala. Right, mala. That means if you, separate, dismantle piece by piece, you cannot find the phenomena. It doesn't mean the phenomena is not exist, not there. That means mala exists only dependent on many things. Mala exists depend on many parts, many things. Therefore, all phenomena arise dependently, exist dependently. So what is the opposite of the dependent? Independent. What is the opposite of the impermanent? Impermanence. Permanent. What is the opposite of the dependent? Independent. Independent, must remember, independent and dependent. This mala is dependent phenomena, not independent. So therefore, there's not such a thing exists independently. Everything exists dependently. The opposite of the independent is, dependent is independent. Independent, okay? The thoughts, right? Thoughts, the mind, which is perceive things exist as a independent. The mind is ignorance. Okay, first, independent and dependent. Dependent and independent. This book is independent or dependent phenomena. Dependent phenomena, not independent phenomena. Right? So for us, everything exists as a independent, not dependent. Therefore, when you attach, when you have a sense of attachment to something, you attach to the phenomena, attach to the person. The phenomena, the person exists as a independent. Independent, right? Independent. We think something there, you really attach on it. For example, let's say, this is, what's the new iPhone this today? iPhone 11? Let's say this, iPhone 11. Everybody say, wow, the phone is so nice, right? So nice, look very good. If somebody asks, which part is you really like it? The phone, the color, the shape, or the function? Which one you like it? iPhone 11. The function, the color, Sorry, what?
Everything.
What?
They say everything.
Oh, you like everything? Really? Yes, sir, I like everything. If you really think precisely the color, first you think, oh, color is very nice, blue color, pink color, I like it. When you look closely, then you think, it's not the perfect color. You can see some problem with the color, shape, and size. Well, size is very interesting because when we have a big phone, you don't like big phone, you really want a small phone. And when you have a small phone, now you don't like, you must have a bigger phone, right? That means when we say, I like the phone, you never think the phone exists dependent on many parts. We think the phone exists independently. Your mind is really clinging on the phone without, study, color, shape, function, whatever. Therefore, all the attachment arise based on the independent phenomena, independent person. Let's say, everybody has an experience, attachment towards someone, some person, male or female. Everybody have an experience about attachment. When you attach to the person, right, person, say, oh, I really like the person. If somebody asks, which part of, do you like the body or the mind? Which one do you like? Let's say everybody has a sense of attachment to someone. So I like the person. Which part of you like? The hair or the eyes, the nose, the mouth? What? Which one you really like it? Right? So first we thought, oh, I like the person. That time we think the beautiful person is independent entity. Therefore we attach. When you study part by part, all parts of body, then you think, oh, it's different. It's become different. Right? Therefore, everything arises ignorance. Ignorance means the mind which is perceived, the phenomena as a independent phenomena. This is the root or the cause to arise all kinds of problems. So also we study a little bit about anger. When you're really angry with someone, right? Everybody has I think, enemy here and there. When you really have a angry to someone, you really say, I don't like the person, right? Person. Are we really hate the person body? We are okay with the person body. then which part of we really hate the person? The body, speech, or mind? Which one you really don't like? When you say, I don't like the person, the way of speaking, the way of acting, what? Right? So therefore, without we study precisely, closely, we just get angry. Also, when we get angry to someone, that time we think that the person which is we really get angry, the person exists as independent entity. We never study how we get angry. Also, when we get angry, because it's very common problem, as a human being or as a non-human being, it's a very common problem arise based on angry. When we get angry, we always pick on the person, right? Oh, you did the mistake. We always say you. We never say, I also did mistake. Without you, you cannot get angry anybody. So angry is depend on both, you and other. Right? You and other. Therefore, when we get angry, we should not blame 100% to other. Also, you should think, I'm also part of the problem. So when you think this way, the angry become more, I think, you have a less anger. Right? Therefore, everything exists dependently. For us, everything independent phenomena. Therefore, ignorance means the mind which is perceived everything as a independent entity. This is the ignorance. Ignorance is the mind which is not able to see the reality, not able to see the truth. This is what called ignorance. For example, I gave you the example, mala, a simple mala. It's a common, I think, ignorance. For example, let's say among the Singaporean, there were somebody is very rich. Oh, if the person wear just simple watch, it costs like $5, right? Or he or she wear the $5 watch. But we think the watch must be very expensive. If he or she give you, I really like you are my best friend, I want to give my watch to you. You feel so happy. You thought this watch must be very expensive because of the, again, ignorance. You don't know the reality of the watch. Or you met some very, one of your friends who are very poor. He or she doesn't have a lot of money. Somehow, he or she has a very expensive watch. If he or she give you the watch, you think it must be very cheap or expensive? Very cheap. Again, ignorance. Therefore, according to Buddhist, philosophy, all the problem and sufferings which we have based on the negative karmas. All negative karmas also accumulate based on the negative thoughts, negative minds. All the negative minds arise based on the ignorance. Okay, here I thought to explain about the karma. We have a very common mistake, common misunderstanding. How I can accumulate great amount of merits? It depends on what? How you can accumulate great, amount of merit? How? It depends on? Therefore, look at, let's say, somebody offer, let's say, $1 million to the charity. So you're able to offer only $1. Right? You donate $1. Someone donate 1 million. Then we think, oh, he or she accumulate more merit than me because I donate only $1, he or she donate 1 million. It mistake. Accumulating merit, great or not, it does not depend on the thing. It depends on your motivation. Motivation. If you have a good, great motivation, pure motivation, you donate $1 or 1 cent, you can accumulate a great amount of merit. For example, I tell another story at the Buddha lifetime. There was a king, he was very rich, so one day he invited, I think 500 arhat, include the Buddha Shakyamuni. 500 arhat, include Buddha Shakyamuni. Then he offered, like big lunch, all with the, the robe, all the arhat, include Buddha. Then at the end, Buddha asked, so you have accumulated merit, where you want to dedicate it, where you want to dedicate the merit. Then Buddha checked, how much merit the king accumulated. Next to the king palace, there was a beggar, totally beggar. When the beggar saw the king invited 500 arhat, include Buddha Shakyamuni, offer big lunch, offer all the robes, then the beggar has a sense of strong, pure rejoicement. Very pure rejoicement. He really rejoiced to the king offering lunch close to the Arhat Buddha. The king has an ego. Oh, I'm a king, I'm very rich, I'm able to invite them. The Buddha said, if I compare your merit with the beggar accumulates more merit than you because the beggar has a pure rejoicement. The king has an ego. He cannot accumulate much merit. But he spent a lot of things. But he accumulates very little merit. The beggar accumulates much merit than the king because of the motivation. Therefore, in order to accumulate a great amount of merit, you don't need to spend so many things. You don't need to spend a lot of money, not things, so many things. Most important, motivation. So how you can have a great motivation? Let's say, I think somebody offered the light. So I don't know, I didn't know the motivation. Actually, let's say we have 3 lights. Who offered this light? Please raise hand. Who offered this light? Okay. Let's say, for example, I offer the light. I offered light to the Buddha. Oh, I have a problem in my job place. I have a job problem. Buddha, I have a job. Offer the light. I cannot accumulate any merit. No good motivation. You just spend, I think, $2, finish. Okay? Somebody says, oh, Buddha, I'm very sick. Please, bless me to release, overcome my sickness. No merit. Okay? $2 finish. Then someone offered the light to Buddha. I wish to be Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. The person offers one simple light, accumulate big amount of merit. I wish, all beings be happy. I wish all sentient beings free from suffering. And the person accumulate great amount of merit because of the motivation. Therefore, please, always have a good motivation. Good motivation, that you can accumulate good merit. Also, you should not mistaken about positive action and negative actions. The positive and negative action not depend on the action look good or bad. No. It depends again motivation. For example, parents, they really want to raise the children in the good way, want to give proper education. The children is very naughty. They never listen to the parents. Sometimes the parent, beat, right? Beat and, give some punishment. But the action looks bad. Action looks bad. But the action look bad is a positive action. The parent don't have any negative motivation, only good motivation, right? And also, therefore, looks good in the reality is a bad. Looks bad in the reality is good. Therefore, good and in action, bad action is not depend on the actions, it depend on the motivation, right? Therefore, so in order to accumulate good merit, not depend on the thing, it depend on the motivation. Positive, negative action not depend on the look like good action, bad action. It depend again motivation. Motivation, right? Therefore, you must know how to accumulate positive merit, how to purify negative action, why we need to purify negative karma, why we need to accumulate merit. Because so we want happiness, we don't want suffering. We don't want suffering, therefore we need to purify negative karma. We want happiness, therefore we need to accumulate positive karmas. Here also many people really, don't know what does mean accumulating positive and negative karma. Karma means is a Sanskrit, kram or karma means actions. Actions, right? When you have a verbal, physical, or mental action, you got a habit. Habits. For example, at the first one person, he or she doesn't have an experience to smoking, no experience. And some of your friends say, wow, it's very nice, you try, right? Then you try, you feel it's no good. You first try first time, then you try second time, then slowly you got habits to, smoke. That means accumulating positive or negative is means you are putting habits in your mind. Okay? If you have a lot of, positive actions, then you put a lot of good habit in your minds. If you have a lot of negative actions, you are putting negative habits in your minds. Clear? Therefore, accumulating merit doesn't mean, there's a storeroom, you can store everything. No, you are putting a lot of negative habits in your mind, that means you are accumulating negative karma. You're putting a lot of positive habits, experience in your mind, then we say you are accumulating positive actions, positive merit. So due to the positive and negative habits, then you can have the positive result and negative result. Also, negative and positive benefit and harm is also, I think, is very much depends in the physical things. For example, eating poison is good or bad? Poison food. Is it good or bad? Bad. The eating poison, is bad for human, but it's good for peacock. Peacock, right? Peacock, the bird. Peacock always takes the poison food. Therefore, look at, is harmful or not harmful also depends the physical thing. For example, butter is good for human. Human eat butter. The butter is very bad for the dog. The dog cannot eat butter. If they eat, they certainly have a vomiting. So this means physical things, good or bad, harmful or not harmful is depend. The physical thing. The mental thing, the anger is always bad for everybody. Yeah, it's bad for male and female. It's bad for young and old. It's bad for everybody. The physical thing is depend. Good or bad, harmful or benefit is also depend. Right? And also good and bad is also depend on the culture, depend on the, circumstances. But when we talk about the inner, good and bad, then compassion, kindness is always good for everybody. Anger, hatred, ego are always bad for everybody, whether you are a believer, non-believer, whether you are Buddhist or non-Buddhist. Okay? That means, what is the main practice as a Buddhist? That means reduce all the negative thoughts, increase positive thoughts. Because all the negative thoughts is very harmful for everybody, right? Whether believer or non-believer. Therefore, good and bad is depend on the context. When we talk about good and bad, about the external things, it depends. Internal thing, same for everybody. Clear? Okay, that means positive and negatives, actions, not the acting is depends on the motivation. Also accumulating positive or negative is not also depend on the things, is depend on the motivations. And good and bad also depends, which one we are talking about, external or internally. Internally, all the negative thoughts is harmful for everybody. Clear? Okay. So why not we have a time for question and answer? We have a half hours, 30 minutes. Please feel free, okay? This is just, teaching class. No, it's not really teaching, it's a kind of class. Please feel free, ask question. Also feel free to criticize. Something you really don't like, you say, oh, it doesn't make sense. If you think, oh, is something wrong, you can say openly. Please feel free, ask question.
Any questions from upstairs? Any questions from upstairs?
No. But Geshe-la,
Yes?
can I just check with you? Just now you mentioned about purification of negative karma. It can be purified, but can it be totally eliminated?
Yes, she asked question, yes, we can purify. Can we totally remove or not the negative karmas? Yes, there's two different view within the different schools, different Buddhist philosophical schools. From the lower school, the Vaibhashika and Sutantika, they accept to reduce, minimize the karma, negative karma. They cannot accept is totally removed, able to remove from the root. For example, you can minimize. At the end, somehow you need to experience the result of the negative karma, long or short term. You must experience. It cannot be removed totally, cannot. One. According to the higher philosophical school, for example, Chittamantra school and Madhyamaka school, the higher school, they not just accept, believe into minimize, reduce. They fully believe any kind of negative karma. If you try, you can remove from the root. You can totally remove, able to remove without having any result. For example, today we have accumulated strong negative karma. This negative karma you can remove, you can purify from the root without having any result, without having any kind of without produce any result, you can remove from the root. Yes?
Any more questions from upstairs?
Yeah, one, just a minute.
My question is, can someone else minimize our bad karma by transferring their merits to us?
Yeah. I think she is asking question, can someone minimize our negative karma through transforming their positive karma, right? Is it?
Geshe, she meant is transferring someone with positive karma to transfer to a person who committed negative karma.
Is okay. This I think we have to be very clear what Buddha said. Okay. Buddha said, I cannot purify your negative karma by pouring water. Okay, pouring water on you. Also, I cannot remove your suffering by my hand. Look like when doctor did operation, they cut, they remove the heart and lung. Buddha cannot say, I cannot remove your suffering by my hands. Also, I cannot transform my practice, my positive karma to you. I cannot. Buddha said very clearly, I cannot purify your negative karma pouring water on you. I cannot remove your sufferings by my hands. I cannot transform my practice or my positive karma to you. You must purify your negative karma. You must achieve your path or practice through realize the truth, emptiness. Therefore, if you accumulate negative karma, I cannot purify your negative karma by transforming my positive karma. Cannot. But then, clear, it's a really big question. For example, somebody come to the temple or center, I accumulate negative karma, please help me to purify negative karma. You ask to the bhikshu, you ask to the sangha, right? Help me. Yes, the sangha, the Buddha, they can help you to purify your negative karma. They can help you to accumulate positive karma. But they cannot transfer their own merit to you. Cannot. If this is the case, then it looks like right now there's no more any suffering beings. Buddha already can remove all the sufferings by hands. Cannot. Sorry, cannot. Any question?
Geshe, if a person who passed away and the family members, arrange for special puja so that the person who passed away have better rebirth, will this happen?
Yes, okay. Also, I think I have to explain a bit precisely. So, if the person who passed away, if the person has a connection, link as a family and friends, when they did pray for the person who passed away, the person can get benefit from those people which has a connections. Also, after someone pass away, is very important. After someone pass away, usually traditionally, we do a lot of prayers and chanting, recitation for the person who passed away. How the person can get benefit? How? This is a big question, very big question. Okay, so let's say somebody passed away this morning. Then, we all together, do recitation, chanting for the person passed away. The person can benefit two different reasons. One, due to our prayer, power of our prayer or chanting, the person get positive mental altitudes. Positive mental altitudes. Suddenly, then the person can get benefits. Number one. Number two, we did this prayer mainly only for the person who passed away. At the same time, we accumulate the merit. We accumulate merit. Due to the power of merit, also the person can get benefit. Because we say, dedicate the merit to the benefit for the person. Yes, if we did, lot of recitation, chanting, pray for the person who passed away, yes, definitely the person can get benefit before the person take a rebirth. Also, we continuously, according to Tibetan tradition, every year they do, pray or chanting the person who passed away. The person passed away 50 years ago, 30 years ago. We still continuously do recitation, chanting for the person who passed away 20 years, 30 years ago. Also, the person already rebirthed somewhere. Also, the person can get benefits. So this is, I can tell you based on my experience. Make sure you should not have a misunderstanding. I'm not the high practitioner. For example, in order to become Geshe, first you have to study, you have to finish complete study in your own monastery. First you finish all your study in your monastery. Then there's another 6 years exam. 6 years, very serious examination. The second years, I was very sick. Seriously ill, seriously sick, but I don't want to give up, I don't want to stop to do my examination. I want to finish my exam second year, third year, 4 years. I was already at the exam, so I have to go in different monastery. Since I start my exam, I seriously ill. Somehow I feel very comfortable. It looks like I no more sickness. Everything is very smooth. Then I thought something is strange for me. I'm seriously ill, but I didn't feel I'm ill. I'm sick. Everything is very smooth. Then after I finished my exam, then I realized during my exam time, I have like students. They did every day. They did puja for me. I didn't notice, but I got really benefit. I can feel all the benefits. Therefore, after someone pass away, if we do, recitation, chanting, all the positive actions, definitely the person can get benefits. Even though after they take a rebirth, they can get benefits. For example, right now, sometimes you thought, oh, how come today I got something special? Oh, today I am very happy. I don't know why today I am very happy. Because the happiness also you are receiving due to your relatives, your friends, somebody, maybe doing a lot of puja for you. Yes, definitely the person who passed away, he or she can get benefit after, he passed away. Yes. Okay, so any question? Otherwise we can do our dedication prayers.
Just one issue.
Okay.
So Buddhists don't believe in the soul, right? So what is it that transfers into the physical body then?
Okay, first, it's very important question. Also, we really have to know the concept of soul, the concept of Atma, also the concept of the God, the God. When you study in the Christianity, when you read in all the Christian books, they always talk about the God, the Creator. But there's not really particular definition, the meaning of the God. If you ask question to different people, they give a different answer. That we don't have a clear definition of the God. But the Atma, the soul, according to Hindu tradition, there's a very clear definition. What does mean soul? What does mean Atma? Okay, Atma or soul is kind of the spirit, is a permanent, is never change, is come from the previous life without changing this life, without changing go to next life. It's a permanent. Clear? One character is a permanent. Second is singleness. It doesn't have any parts. Completely is a single entity. Permanent, singleness, and independent. The mind, kind of spirit, kind of mind, which is permanent, singleness, independent. This is the definition or meaning of soul or Atma. So, the previous life, let's say we were animal, now we are human. Physically, we are different. The soul is same. It's continuously, without changing, going this life to next life. So therefore, we Buddhists not able to accept, the permanent singleness, independent phenomena, independent like mind, spirit. Yeah. So therefore, according to Buddhism, that means who really come from previous life to this life? Who is going to next life? There's another mistaking. People say, my minds go next life. We should not say, I go next life. I come from my previous life. The I is not the permanent, not the singleness, not the independent. I is impermanent. It has many parts. It is a dependent phenomena. I go with the 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates. Okay? 5 aggregates is the basis to name as a me and I. This I, with the consciousness, go to next life. Yes? I think still, we really need to discuss about the soul and the Atma because it's not an easy concept to understand. Okay, so then I think we will have another maybe 3 to 4 classes, right? Then I think better to stop that class. What do you think? You want to attend continuously or better to stop after a few classes?
Any those who are interested to continue, please raise hand to show your interest.
Certainly. Not sure, right? Some is very low.
Majority,
It's not actually what I thought because until now it's just giving kind of the basic basic information about why we need to practice Dharma, why we believe in this and that, why we accept, why we cannot accept. It's giving kind of just foundation for you to practice Dharma. The next, if you really want to attend, if you think it's useful, if you think it's a good, then we can continuously have a more pure Dharma. Until now, it's just a kind of foundation, giving you certain information. Next, then we really have to go merely about, dharma. It depends on you. You can think about. So we definitely we have another 2-3 classes. The next topic mainly about the true truth. True truth, conventional and ultimate truths. Then we can talk more about the Four Noble Truths. Truth of suffering, then number 2, origin of suffering, third, cessation, then the path to cessation. So based on the true truth, then we can talk about Four Noble Truths. Without knowing the true truths, then you don't understand the Four Noble Truths. Without Four Noble Truths, knowing without Four Noble Truths, then Buddha, Dharma, Sangha just become, this kind of verbally. You really cannot really accept. Therefore, next topic, Two Truths, then Four Noble Truths, then we can talk a little bit about the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Okay? Thank you so much for attending the class, even though today is a Sunday.